The most important phrase I see in the four-way Rotary test is the phrase "to all concerned," meaning that we should consider the emotions, feelings, and opinions of everyone when determining the ethicality of a certain action, when determining whether something is fair, whether something is the truth, establishes goodwill, better friendship, and is beneficial to all concerned. Today I'd like to talk about the importance of considering the all and the myriad of negative impacts not doing so causes. Then I'd like to propose a specific methodology, a way we can ensure the fulfillment of the phrase "to all concerned." Let's begin with a story. I was in math class one day and we had just taken a test over finding derivatives. The teacher was handing back the test and a peer leans over to me and says, "You probably aced this test and thought it was super easy. You're so Asian." I casually dismissed the compliment by laughing like I always did, but then I wondered, what does it mean to be Asian? Is there a specific characteristic or trait that's intrinsically tied to all Asians? Do we all act, behave, say in a certain or particular way? Then I realized I become part of the model minority. The myth of the model minority purports that all Asians are well-off, successful, and intelligent. Now you might be wondering why this particular description of Asians is problematic. I thought the same exact thing too, until I realized the negative impacts it can have on groups of people. First is the psychological violence of Asians that face a unique form of discrimination. For example, Southeast Asians are neglected of the most fundamental forms of welfare, including health aid and educational aid, due to the stereotype that all Asians are well off, that they don't need any form of help. Now, this totalizing and false assumption not only negatively affects Asian people, but actually marginalizes other groups and populations. For example, white supremacists use the myth of the model minority as a tool to perpetuate and legitimize oppressive acts. For instance, they look at blacks and Latinos and say, "Hey, why can't you do as well as Asians in our society? It must be a fault with your own culture and your own identity that you're not able to do well in our society." Which serves as a scapegoat, meaning that the myth of the model minority legitimizes and justifies the acts of oppression, because it allows white supremacists to always point fingers back at the model minority and say a group of minorities can do well within our society, meaning that it is a fault with your own culture and identity that you're not able to do well. Now, I believe we have a priority obligation to act on issues such as oppression, and simply describing issues won't help. So you might wonder what the alternative solution to solving back for this impact is. I propose a process of conscientization, or critical consciousness, a process of constant clarification of who we are, identifying ourselves within civil society. We begin to shape, understand, and define the world for ourselves. Take an active stance in naming it, instead of allowing some sort of sovereign to shove down facts down our throat. We reject the things called facts and begin to name the world for ourselves and discover what the truth actually is. Only then are we able to take an active stance in determining the ethicality of certain things. Only then are we able to gain critical awareness and critique and analyze the underlying assumptions certain actions take or an actor takes. Now, ever since we were young, our teachers told us that critical thinking is extremely important. Critical thinking, critically engaging, and critical awareness is key to critique and constantly analyze the underlying assumptions a certain action or decision takes, allowing us to become stronger advocates, better decision makers, and allowing us to truly determine whether something is the fair, the truth, is beneficial, and establishes goodwill and better friendship. Thank you.